Hello, welcome to another video from alpacaguild.com. Today we're going to be talking about feed, specifically making sure that every alpaca gets sufficient feed, which is particularly important when we have a hierarchy within every herd. There will always be one that wants to push their way in first, get to that food before the others do. They may actually not be the most dominant alpaca. Even if they are first to the bowl, someone else might push them out the way for a while. Now in an environment like this, it's true that grass is always greener on the other side, and actually moving your alpaca from one paddock to another is generally not too much of a struggle, especially when the alpaca recognise the value of the grass that they're moving on to. There's also enough grass that there's not going to be too much squabbling about it. If another alpaca comes along and wants to eat that same blade of grass that you've got, you can move on to another one. But this is a problem when we have conditions as shown here, where we have had so much rain. I mean, it's just sopping wet underfoot. So the alpaca are really having to search for that best piece of grass that's out there. Now, if your paddock's large enough and you haven't got too many animals, then that should be okay. But it's not the only source of food that we need to provide animals. Year round, we also need to be providing them with dry matter as well. Now, this is particularly easy to see the hierarchy at work. In this case, the white alpaca, the one with the gormless face, that's Savannah. Now she's the mother of the black one that wants to get to that food, so she's preventing her from doing that. She's making it known by basically using her long neck to sort of make noises just behind the head of the other alpaca, almost threatening to spit on her, spit being their main form of defence. Now Miss Moneypenny, the black one, is quite persistent and she's doing alright, she's getting some food, but as we can see, Savannah is quite insistent that she wants to be there first. Now, they're all able to get to the food, and we make sure that they do all get some feed in plenty of time, so there's no issues here. But Savannah's going to make her position absolutely well known. Here it goes, the spit. So Savannah has brought up some spit from deep within her stomach, including anything that might be in her mouth. It's pretty disgusting, and she spat it at Miss Moneypenny. Now, alpacas don't like the smell of it. They don't actually like spitting themselves. It's a bad taste in their mouth. But it is their way of saying, hey, this is mine, I'm getting in here first. Miss Moneypenny won't be perturbed by this though. So yes, she's got some spit on the back of her head, but she's going to carry on eating. The important thing is to always monitor your herd to make sure that alpaca are not missing out. If you've got particularly dominant alpaca, and this may be the case if you've got a range of ages, then there might be one that doesn't get enough food. If you're putting hay out in a large basket as we've got here, then actually there's plenty, and in time they will get some. Miss Moneypenny, as we can see, is sort of waiting for a while and then going back when it looks safe. But it is possible that she might need to be at the food bowl for a little bit longer. If the volume of food that you've put down is scarce, then of course there is the potential that an alpaca may miss out. And we have bowls like this as shown. They can hook onto wire, onto fence, onto a wooden paling, and we can put exactly the amount of feed in that we need for each alpaca. And if they're spaced out well enough, then we know that the alpaca is going to normally sit on that one bowl and they will get everything they need. You can also put an old ice cream container down on the floor, or a small bucket. But in this instance, when it's hay, they all like to just come together. And as we can see, the squabbles have pretty much come to an end now. It's also important when we have conditions like this that are so muddy that we move this basket around. Thank you very much for watching. If you could please help us to get to 100 subscribers, that would be fantastic. Thank you very much.